Anchors up, sales at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are we doing today, Kyle?
Doing right, Jared. How are you doing?
Doing good. We have a lot to do today. We have a full round of Sloop picks. We have to update the tier list. We got Austin down in chat. He's our guest picker this week. I got no reason to screw around, do you?
I don't. Let's just get right into it.
First, new tradition, good tradition. There we go. Now let's get into it.
All right. Week 10. Already week 10 here, Jared. A lot more shakeups. Let's get right into it for our tier list. Ohio State, bye. Obviously, they stay. Indiana.
Big win. Or dominant
big win
over a weak opponent.
Mm-hmm. They stay in S tier. Alabama. Alabama keeps winning. Alabama keeps winning. I mentioned
Texas A&M keeps winning.
Yep.
Ole Miss picks up a decent win.
Yep. I mentioned last week, Jared, if Alabama wins, we put them into S tier, and I hold to that. I think Alabama has moved their way up to S tier. Their resume really showcases that. So I got to put Alabama right now. I still think Ohio State overall is the better opponent, better team than Alabama. But I think Alabama is really up there.
Austin, I agree with you that beating South Carolina does nothing. In fact, them only beating South Carolina by a score hurt their chances of moving into S tier, in my opinion. But I was ready to move them into S tier last week, and Kyle wouldn't let me. So I think they've had a really tough schedule the past month, and they've done a really good job against that really bad schedule.
Absolutely. And Texas A&M.
Alabama's no one left on the schedule who's going to challenge them either. That's kind of, I mean, at least partially the point.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, they're on a bye this weekend, and then they host LSU, going to be a depleted LSU team. And then they play Oklahoma, their yearly FCS team, and then the Iron Bowl. So, yeah, very favorable for the rest of the year for Alabama. The Aggies, Jared.
Yeah.
Aggies with a big win in Baton Rouge. 49-25.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tough.
LSU isn't necessarily a big win, but they did what they should have done against LSU.
In LSU at night, that's a tough place to play.
But we also have to acknowledge that LSU kind of sucks.
Sure.
We have them down in C tier, ready to move them into M tier, but we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's not that.
To me,
Austin, we're literally talking about how LSU's not very good, but that they beat LSU the way they should have beat LSU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really turned it on that second half there. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Do you think they deserve to go up to S tier now or stay in A tier?
Would you say their wins are on par with Alabama's wins?
Yes. Yes. I think because of that, I would put them up to S tier. That's my thought. I wanted to hear yours.
I'm good with that. We don't have as much time this week as we did last week to dive dive deep these.
Ole Miss is another one. They get a good win on the road.
Don't make me say Albatross another 30 times, Austin, because I'll say Albatross another 30 times.
Yeah, against Oklahoma here. So I think Ole Miss still stays in A tier. Good win on the road. Very favorable schedule the rest of the year here. I mean, it's down to what, 5 teams, maybe 6 teams in the SEC right now. It's
yeah,
and I don't think any of these teams play each other.
Right.
None of them play each other.
Austin says they're supposed to be Alabama. And this is a thing I have said multiple times this season. It is not fair to hold Alabama to Nick Saban standards if Nick Saban's not there. They can still be a very, very, very good team and not be the Alabama we got used to over the past 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Like,
this is going to be interesting next 2 weeks.
They can still be allowed.
The SEC here.
They're not absolutely mid. They're absolutely more than that.
All right. USF. Got to talk about USF losing. They're down to, gosh, would you put them down to C tier?
No.
2 losses? 2 losses now?
But only one in conference. They can still win their conference. That's the definition of the bubble to me. They can still very realistically get into their championship game when they're in the.
Right, so
I mean, the problem is Navy.
Sure.
As far as getting into the conference game, Navy's a problem.
We'll get to Navy here, but let's finish off the obvious ones. Oregon, they.
Esquire says the sentence "we have to talk about USF" is a victory itself for USF.
For USF, sure. Oregon, a not so great win against Wisconsin. Granted, it was terrible weather, but still 21-7.
The weather got bad later. I'm not taking weather as an excuse there.
Yeah, Georgia, Miami, Notre Dame.
Georgia Tech, BYU wins. All these teams won.
BYU, yeah.
BYU. We already talked about Ole Miss. All these teams won. I think they're all fine right where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I have no reason to demote any of these teams. Right.
That's 11 teams right there.
We just need to replace the American.
Got to replace the American. I'm looking at the list here.
I think
right now I think it's Houston or Memphis or Tulane or Navy. Those are your 4 right now. And I'm not gonna die on a hill to for any of them, but I will say Houston may have one of the well, I guess Memphis too. Memphis has both teams had good wins this last weekend. Houston on the road to beat Arizona State. Memphis at home beat South Florida. I mean, which one would you rather take? The Cougars or the Tigers?
The Cougars or the Tigers? What about the Green Wave?
Yep. Oh, you tell me the case for the Green Wave.
Take a look at pull up the American standings for me.
Sure thing. Let's see. That is.
If you die on a hill for Navy, should you actually die on a wave? And is that Navy, wave green?
So Navy undefeated 5-0 in conference, 7-0 overall. Tulane undefeated in conference with 1 loss. And Memphis 7-1 with 1 loss in conference.
Tulane is undefeated in conference. Their 1 loss was against Ole Miss, who is a highly thought of team.
Mm-hmm.
Navy, with all due respect, the Navy ain't played nobody. I know they're undefeated.
Let's go ahead and just put Tulane for this week. I'm fine with that. We can kind of move on here. So
Austin, I'm not giving Alabama any credit for their win over Wisconsin. It was not impressive. My case all along is that Bama had a rough start to the season, but that they've figured it out now.
Sure.
There's a big much, and this is why I keep using, if you listen to last week's episode, it's why I keep using the word albatross. In comparison to Ohio State in 2014, where they weren't a very good team in September, but they figured it out.
All right, so in B tier here, Jared, we got Virginia, Texas Tech, Utah, USF, Louisville, Memphis, Oklahoma, Missouri, Navy, Arizona State. I think Arizona State is on the outside now.
Well,
I think they
we'll
probably go
worry
in C
about
tier.
that. My one thing I would bring up is we have Vanderbilt and Cincinnati. With Vanderbilt and Cincinnati, we'd obviously have to remove a team. In Cincinnati's case, we'd have to remove BYU. In Vanderbilt's case, you probably have to remove Ole Miss, which I don't think is
Nope.
what I would be doing at this point, or Georgia. I don't think I'd be removing Georgia at this point. I like both Miami and Georgia Tech in there, so I'm not. I don't feel it appropriate to remove either of those teams.
I think Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is pretty much done. They just got their second loss.
All right, let's talk about moving team. Okay, so Vanderbilt and Cincinnati are going to stay in B tier. They're not going to move up.
Yep.
So let's talk about three teams who could be removed from B tier. Oklahoma,
Yep,
I agree with you.
Oklahoma gone. I think Missouri you got to as well too. They don't have any signature wins. They have none. Their best wins is South Carolina and Auburn, both in the bottom of the SEC. They have a combined of 1 win in conference.
Right. Nah, I mean you're not going to get any
Not good.
argument. You're not going to get any argument from me. I agree.
Yep,
We should move
so
down
Missouri,
the Sooners, and the Sooners.
and Missouri.
Yep. Yes, Oklahoma and the Sooners. That is what I just said.
And Arizona State with their second loss in conference as well too, and they need a lot of help because all the teams they play. I mean, they have a very favorable schedule, but they need help to get in because both of their losses are teams that are ahead of them.
Right.
Which
is devastating in
you
terms of
put them
winning
in
their conference.
C tier right now.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So that is our S, A, B, and C.
Well,
and I think
hold on.
We should add. I think we should add, Jared, another name to M tier. I think for the second year in a row.
Were they the ones that got out of M tier last year?
Yeah, they did.
Was that last year?
I'm almost certain. Yeah, LSU went in our M tier and then got their way out as the season went along.
Talked about this a little tiny bit in the Monday episode. No, I do not think Brian Kelly's going to Penn State. Brian Kelly was James Franklin before James Franklin was James Franklin. You're out of the frying pan and into the fire. You're bringing in a coach who's really good at building an A program but not an S program, who can't win the big games. Brian Kelly and James Franklin are the same person. Just gonna say it like that.
All right. That is our tier list.
Hold on. No, not yet.
Okay.
I have C plus.
Okay.
Should we potentially talk about USC, Michigan, SMU as graduate, maybe Utah as graduates into B tier?
All right, let's look at Michigan. Michigan play of the 4 teams ahead of Michigan. Mm-hmm. They have 1 team. They have 1 team ahead of them. They need help. They need help right now to get in. If they run the tables, they win out. They still got like 2 teams ahead of them, 3 teams ahead of them still.
I agree. I don't.
So
this is
right now
more,
I got to put them in C tier.
This is
I got to
more
put them in C tier.
This is more wild card. If we sort of run with the theory that it's going to be 4 SEC teams and 4 Big Ten teams, if it does shake out that way, which is, it doesn't have to, but that's kind of how we typically go into the season thinking it's going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 Big Ten teams in S tier and 1 Big Ten team in A tier.
Sure. I mean, it's going to help that Oregon and Iowa play each other Is it this weekend? No, it's the following weekend. So that's going to help Michigan. They'll move up a spot if they continue to win out, and they'd be fourth. They still need help. So I don't know. I think they stay in C unless there's chaos ahead of them, and then they can move up to B tier. So
okay.
Same thing with USC.
Same thing. I was about to say, if you make that argument for Michigan, you'd make that same argument for USC. So that's fine.
I think if any Big Ten teams that would potentially move up could be potentially Iowa. Just because they only have one loss in conference, they do have their big game against Oregon coming up here in a week and a half. If they win,
I don't like Iowa very much, quite frankly. I think both USC and Michigan are better football teams.
Sure. But looking at the schedule as a whole, if Iowa wins out and Michigan upsets Ohio State, Iowa's in the Big Ten championship game.
I'd really have to check some tiebreakers to. Yeah, I mean, I get. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I mean that requires Iowa winning out. That requires Iowa winning out, and then beating Indiana. But then again, they could still get that fourth spot. Yeah, I just don't think Iowa can win out. I just don't think that they're that good. Yeah. SMU.
I think they have still one loss in conference.
Mm-hmm.
They could potentially be like Clemson last year. They have too many losses, but they can find their way in. So they can backdoor their way in. But they play some tough games. Miami this weekend, and they play Louisville still on their schedule here. Cal has upset some teams.
So they can play their way in, is the point.
They can play their way in, yeah. So right now, I'd still put them in C, but they can play their way in.
If they can play their way in, that's playoff bubble, in my opinion. It might be a 1 week stay in the playoff bubble, but it's based off of the math and the opportunity ahead of them, they're playoff bubble.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. I'm looking here, even though they lost recently, they only have one, again, another team with 3 losses, only one in conference.
Yep.
Duke. Looking at Duke, the rest of their schedule are teams that are behind them, except for Virginia. If they win Virginia, they win this weekend against Clemson, they beat Virginia, you could see Duke in the ACC championship game potentially.
I'll let you make this call. I made the SMU call.
I'd say they stay in C tier right now.
Utah. In Big 12 land.
Utah, I think Utah still... hold on. Let me go back to Utah. I keep forgetting. Excuse me. They have the same font. I just threw myself through a loop there. I'm talking about Houston. Utah is already in B tier. Houston.
By the way, they have the same logo. Can everyone just take a look? They have the same logo, except one of them's an H. In my defense.
Houston has a very, very favorable rest of the schedule. West Virginia, UCF, TCU, and Baylor. You could see them being in the
and they had a really big
12
win.
Championship.
They had a really big win last week.
Mm-hmm. Yep, against Arizona State. Yeah, I think they're in B tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
TCU,
by the way, either Utah or Houston, one of you change your logo.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think TCU's on the I think stays in C, but they could play spoilers. They play BYU, then Houston, then Cincinnati. They could play spoilers, but they're on the outside.
This whole discussion is why the 12-team playoff actually rocks. Yes, because conference championship games have meaning now. Maybe less so in the SEC and the Big Ten, but for all the other conferences, winning your conference all of a sudden is super important. Kyle, before the 12-team playoff, you and I would not have ever given two shits about the ACC standings or the Big 12 standings, the conference standings, who has what. We just wouldn't have cared. This is much more fun. I like this a lot.
All right, you have Boise State and San Diego State from the Mountain West.
Yeah, I have them in
a lot of help.
I have them in C+ because I think they deserve to be in C+. They're the leaders in the Mountain West.
But
I still
too.
But I still
they're on the outside
in the Sun Belt. But I still very firmly believe that the fifth champion will come from the American. I
would agree too.
I think they belong in C+, but I don't think they belong in B, because I feel very confident that last team's coming from the American and not the Mountain West or the Sun Belt.
Yep. All right. To wrap it up here, S tier, we have Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, Texas A&M. A tier, Oregon, Georgia, Miami, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, BYU, Ole Miss, and the Green Wave of Tulane. All right, we are going to go ahead and take our first ad break here, and we will get back to some Sloop picks. TheSloopcast.com is your link for everything and anything Sloopcast related. Check out our Patreon page if you're wanting to help support Jared and I. Become a Patreon over at Patreon. Or I said that backwards. Become a patron over at Patreon.
There you
go. .thesloopcast.com. If you want to join Jared and I's Discord page, it's simple enough as discord.thesloopcast.com. You can find those and many other links over at thesloopcast.com. Take that ad break and be right back.
All right, Kyle, we have some bad news. Some borderline upsettingly sad news.
All right.
I dropped 4 games to you in the Sloop picks just last week.
That's bad news? That's bad news?
I mean, on this side of the microphone it is, yes.
All right.
So I am now
end of the internet pipes.
Yes. I am now 6 games behind you. Spikes, who was our guest picker last week, got 4 games, which has now put the collective community now 3 games ahead of me. You are a total of 6 games ahead of me, and I'm in super last right now. I will say, for anyone who likes rooting against the overdogs, Duncan and not Suncard won the weekly web picks last week. So Suncard got dethroned.
I mean, I will say in our picks here, you are not dead last here.
I understand, but as far as the on-screen scoreboard goes, I am dead last.
Sure. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Speaking of people who are in last, Austin is our guest speaker for this week here. Hey.
Mr. Knows It All about Alabama and all the other teams isn't exactly showing he knows it all in the Sloop picks, is all I'm saying.
Sure. All right, let's go and jump right into it here. First off, we have Miami on the road to take on SMU. SMU is a 9.5 point underdog. Noon kickoff. I'll let you start, Jared.
Gonna let me start?
I'll let you start.
It's so very generous of you. SMU's a fine team, I think, but Miami's a very good team, and I know that they faltered on the road. Or was it at home? I've actually already forgotten. But they faltered against a lesser team. But I still think that they're a very good football team. I think maybe they might be a little bit more motivated to throw up some style points now that they have a loss on the record. As we were just talking about with the ACC standings, there is potentially not that safe like, it's not a guarantee they're going to the ACC conference game. They might need to get in on some style points. They're going to need to show out. And SMU might be the victim of that. So give me Miami. 9.5 points is not enough.
Yep, I agree. Two possession game here. I like Miami's odds here. I'll take Miami on the road to cover the 9.5 points. All right, and Austin. Excuse me, sorry about that. Austin says here, Miami going away from the state of Florida for the first time this season.
Crazy stat.
Going into November 1st, and they're finally playing a football game away from the state of Florida.
It's a wild stat.
And that is a wild stat. But he has SMU to cover at least. He has a score Miami 26, SMU 17, which is a 9-point. It makes me feel
Florida
better about
is
my
a big
pick here.
state. Florida is a big state.
Makes me feel better about my pick. All right, next up here, Vanderbilt on the road to take on Texas. And Texas at home is a 3.5-point favorite. So Vegas is saying at a neutral site, these teams are equal.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're saying.
I don't know. Like Vanderbilt just has that swag in them right now. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's tough on the road here, and they've been getting it done here. They've been getting it done. I mean, you're handicapping Vanderbilt 3.5 points. I'll take that. I'll take those points there. So I at least get Vanderbilt to cover.
Yeah. I agree. I think Vanderbilt has a lot of momentum right now. I think they look really good right now. There is
to solidify Texas stays in M tier.
Yeah. Kyle and I have already put Texas in M tier, that, so we kind of have to back that horse. I'm kidding. And whether this is a good thing or a bad thing is yet to be seen. But last we heard, Arch Manning is not practicing. He's in concussion protocol. So who's even going to be the quarterback for Texas? And again, whether having Arch Manning be out's a good thing or a bad thing is maybe up for discussion. But an unknown's an unknown. So give me Vanderbilt.
Sure. Yep. And Austin simply says horns down. Vandy with the upset.
I guess technically per Vegas, it's an upset. Per the AP, it is not.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Next up here, Georgia and Florida.
World's biggest outdoor cocktail party. Yes, it is still called that. I don't care what anyone says.
Florida is a 7.5-point underdog in this matchup. It is your pick, Jared.
Yeah, I still just don't like Georgia all that much. And granted, I don't like Florida that much either. But it crossed the magic number for me. Had this been 6.5, I would have gone with Georgia. At 7.5, that was enough for me. I don't think Florida is super likely to win the game. Don't get me wrong. But under a score, I'll take under a score. Georgia's not been blowing teams out this year. Florida still has a very good defense. Although maybe don't look quite as good as they did early in the season. But still, I'm going to take Florida.
Unless they go up against a good offensive team.
Which Georgia is not.
So you got Florida to cover?
I got Florida to cover.
I think this is going to be similar to like the Florida and Texas A&M game here. I think Georgia's going to run away with this. Yep, that half point there or that point there, that does worry me a little bit, but I'll pick the Bulldogs here. I'll pick the Bulldogs to cover. And Austin says here, I've never been a big Esquire fan anyways. So he picks Florida to upset.
Oh boy, they're both in the chat right now. This is gonna get awkward. That's funny.
You monster. All right, who do you got, Jared?
Oh, I already did that.
Never mind. We're moving on to the next one here, and that is Oklahoma on the road to Tennessee. Or Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite at home. And that is not enough to scare me. I'll pick the Volunteers to win and cover in this matchup.
Kyle taking Tennessee. I'm just gonna be real with you. I dislike both of these teams.
Sure.
I'm gonna take the points. I'm not picking either team. I'm picking the points.
Okay.
Give me the underdog, which happens to be Oklahoma. That's who I was gonna pick this game. I don't care for either of these teams.
All right. And Austin has here, it just means more. And he has Tennessee to cover by a lot. As is tradition. Where is my thing? Here we go. All right. Next up here we have Nebraska hosting USC night game. And no, USC on the road is a 6.5-point favorite. I lost track there, but your pick here, Jared. You got USC to cover, or yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have Nebraska covering, or do you have USC?
Yes,
with the -6.5.
You got there eventually. Not a body clock issue as this is being played at night. Also, Nebraska's not even that far east, really. So it's just
2 time zones.
Just two time zones. It's being played at night, so we're not worried about body clock issues in this game, I don't think. I just think USC is the better football team right now. And again, it's that magic tipping point for me. Had this been 7.5, I may have gone with Nebraska at 6.5. Give me the Trojans.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a dog fight.
I think it's a perfect line for the record.
Yeah. It really is. I don't feel good about either side, so I guess I'll pick Nebraska here to cover the 6.5 points. I mean, at home, at night, you never know. I mean, especially this late in the season. I mean, why not another chaos in here? Why not?
I don't know if I count it as. I mean, I guess for our game it counts as chaos, but I don't think USC counts as chaos at this point.
All right, next up, Jared is.
Well, hold on. Did we get?
Yeah, Austin's boy. Yeah, Austin's pick here. He says corn, no corn. He has USC winning by 14.
I'm pretty sure they still grow corn in California. Maybe not Southern California, though.
Yeah. All right. Now we go on to Cincinnati on the road to Utah, where Utah, the higher ranked team, is a 7.5 point favorite at home.
Yes, sir.
And actually, Jared, it's gone up to 8.5.
Really?
But CBS locked it in at 7.5. So we are picking 7.5. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I mean, what's the hate on Cincinnati here? Like, what is it? Like, was it because of Utah's big win or blowout over Colorado? Colorado's terrible this year.
I agree. No, I totally agree. I don't understand this line at all.
I like Cincinnati's offense. Sorsby's a pretty good quarterback. He's thrown 20 touchdowns already this season.
I will say, there is a body clock issue here. That might be moving some of the points. The Bearcats are kicking off at 10:15 p.m.
Yeah, 10:15. Yeah.
They are starting a football game at 10:15 p.m. That is a body clock issue.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that ended up that way, but
I mean, honestly, to me, it's almost, if not
Cincinnati.
just as egregious as forcing West Coast teams to kick off at 9 o'clock 9 o'clock a.m. per their body clock.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati.
I'm taking Cincinnati as well. I was all ready to not take Cincinnati because of the body clock issue, which again might be why the spread is what it is. Because, I don't know. I still think Cincinnati wins this football game. I think Cincinnati wins this football game, period. Let alone giving me a 7.5 point buffer.
All right. And Austin says here, I always like Joe Royer. Real grinder, hard worker, first one in, last one out. Type of kid you would let your daughter date. Mm-hmm. Played lacrosse in high school.
Yeah.
Natural leader.
Real lunch
quicker than fast.
Got lots of moxie. Lots of moxie.
Yeah, he's got Cincinnati big. All right, and last one here. We will just make our picks as we will cover this game in Thursday's episode and Know Your Enemy as we cover the Penn State game. But the line is 20.5 points for the home team at noon. Mm-hmm. It is your pick, Jared. Do you have Ohio State covering the 20.5, or do you think this will be closer?
Depending upon the casino. Because depending upon the casino might change where the Ohio game went. So, but depending upon the casino, Ohio State is not just undefeated this year, but they're undefeated against the spread this year. Ohio State, again, depending upon the casino, they might have not covered against Ohio. But depending on the casino, Ohio State is undefeated against the spread this year. I don't think that's changing. I'll tell you why on Thursday. We're not doing the why here today. But I have some predictions.
All right. I got Ohio State covering here as well. Penn State's not scoring points. They're not scoring points. They may score a field goal, 2 field goals, max. Ohio State big.
And who does Austin have?
He says here, feel bad for Chaz Coleman.
I think we'll cover that in
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep, he has Ohio State winning and covering.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
And real quick here is our chaos theory. We pick a team who's unranked to be a ranked team. And I will go first here. That way there's nobody complaining about me cheating.
Well, definitely don't look at the screen because I forgot to hide Austin and I's picks. So they're already on the screen. So don't look at the screen. Just don't look at the screen. Close your eyes.
That was not one of my 2 picks.
Really?
That was not one of my 2 picks. The 2 teams I'm down to, Jared. Jared, go away. Florida. So it looks like Jared and Austin picked Florida, which would be 21 points if they get them. But I'm torn either between Kansas State upsetting Texas Tech. Kansas State always has a game every year where they upset a team.
Kyle, I told you before we started recording that I thought they were 2 very good chaos Chaos Theory picks. Obviously, I think Florida beating Georgia is one of them. I'll tell you right now, Kansas State was not one for me, but I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Penn State.
The other one, Jared, is a night game in Raleigh as only a 5.5 point underdog. Yellow Jackets could lose their first game of the season in Raleigh.
That was the other one I was considering.
And that's the one I'm going to go with. A lot of points.
Guys,
a lot of points there.
Do the emotes, guys.
A lot of points there. Give me those 18 points. How we should go.
Do the thing, guys. I need you to do the thing.
Gosh, let me get back to you on Austin about it. Let me see if we can make that happen.
NC State and what's Georgia Tech currently ranked?
8. So that'd be 18 points.
8 goes to 18. Yes.
All right, that's it.
It's not a sticker. It got demoted away from sticker. You have to do the emote.
All right, that's all, Jared. That is it. Well over time here, so we are just going to go ahead and end it here.
All right. Back to the main screen. All right, so yep, that's it for today's show. Tonight's ending music will be brought to you by. That's what I said, right? Courtney from work. Played him on Monday. We'll play him again here. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Courtney from work.